You are watching the Doctalk show.
Bleaching agents are extremely detrimental, they're extremely harmful to your health, from causing hormonal imbalances within your body systems to thinning your skin in the case of steroids or deposits of metal within the body organs. These are some of the common examples of the dangers of bleaching. Are there any other dangers people should worry about, Dr. Malik,
Yes.
regarding bleaching?
Yes, definitely. When we're talking about the steroids, the hormonal imbalance, the hormones of the ovaries that the ovaries make are also affected. Because
Okay.
the steroids, basically, they turn around the whole hormonal system.
They mess up the
They
whole
mess up the
interior
whole
home.
interior system.
Yes.
So the balance is affected in terms of the reproductive hormones.
Okay.
So we're talking of estrogen from the ovaries, we're talking of the hormones that the ovaries are making, and these affect your fertility, which is also quite crucial. So you find a lady who's trying so hard to get a baby, she's missing her periods, she's getting regular periods, they check and they're not finding what the problem is, but actually it's the creams that she's using every day to bleach that are causing infertility. So it's quite something that actually happens.
So infertility, another big issue.
Yes.
And so because of the decisions we make,
Yes.
we're attempting to look more beautiful, yet
More
we're
beautiful.
actually causing ourselves the problems of not producing.
Yes. And it has been shown that sometimes because of the hormonal imbalances, we can also get breast cancer. There are links to hormonal imbalances that can cause breast cancer, so it has also been leaked. And of course, how they cause the skin cancer, that was the other chemicals, but still your immunity is suppressed and the body's ability to weed out cancerous cells reduces. So anytime the cancerous cells can easily come in and cause more problems.
And if people are aware of these dangers, why do they still continue doing so?
I think because they don't know the dangers involved.
They've not really understood
They've
the
not
dangers.
understood the dangers.
Okay.
And when you apply a cream and in a week or two you feel you lighten and you're okay. You don't have a headache, you don't have a fever. So, these are things that accumulate over time.
The effects accumulate over
years
time.
and decades, years.
Okay.
So like most times we see them in women when they're in their 40s if they've been using those things from their 20s. You see, so some of them feel, well, it's something. I'll stop it another time. I'll stop it next year. I'll stop it next year.
But it becomes addictive and
It becomes
every
addictive.
day, every day,
That's
every
the
day.
other thing about bleaching. I always tell them, if you're choosing the channel of bleaching, it's a deal with the devil. There's a price to pay. Why? Because it's going to have to keep on doing it.
You can't stop.
You can't stop. Anytime you stop, your DNA is your DNA. It is how you are created. It will get back to the default setting it had. So if it's, for example, for it is to make 3 cups of melanin, as an example, you've suppressed and it's making half a cup. Once you stop, it will get back to making its 3 cups. Because for it, that's the factory. All you did was just pause on it, the movement.
So that attempt to maintain the light skin color
Exactly. It's lifelong.
is what holds people.
Yes, because they feel if I stop, I'm going to darken, which is true. You will darken. You get back to your normal. So it's of course, and there are cost implications, because we tell them, okay, now imagine they've banned all the harmful ingredients you're using. What are you going to do? It means you're going to darken again. So, there's quite a lot involved in the consequences of using the bleaching creams.
Okay, so if it is that okay, yeah, we understand people want to they want to improve their self-esteem,
Yeah.
and they have to deal with the consequences. Some of the consequences you've talked about seem to be permanent.
Yes.
Can they be reversed in any way?
Unfortunately for bleaching agents, most of the complications are irreversible. If you continue using them, if
They
someone
become
continues
totally
using them,
irreversible.
yes, there's a stage where they reach and it's irreversible.
For
If
example,
someone uses it for a short while, it also depends on what was being used, the concentration being used, the areas on which it was being used, and for how long it was used. So depending on that, some people may get severe damage just within 6 months. They may have mixed up very high concentrations, which are really abnormal, that they get problems within 6 months. Others get problems within a year, others within 2 years, others in 10 years. So it varies, but definitely with all those products, there's a point where the damage is permanent.
So, for example, infertility, permanent.
Yes, it will be permanent.
Skin cancers,
Yeah.
almost it's like your death
Yeah,
certificate
yeah.
you've signed.
Yes.
Recurrent infections,
Yes.
the hormonal problems,
Yes. The
all those
stretch
become
marks
permanent issues.
become permanent, yes. They
Oh.
become permanent
So,
issues.
what should people do? What advice can you give people who want to, those who are bleaching and those who want to start bleaching? What
Yeah.
advice can you give medically?
Medically, those who are bleaching, my advice would be stop immediately, because whatever you're using is doing more harm than good to you. We usually advise them and help them and give them support on how to go through it. But we tell them stop using these things immediately. Those who want to lighten, the advice would be the alternatives. One, look at having a smooth skin. A smooth skin is a beautiful skin. If your skin, if your skin has acne, for example, and blemishes, let's clear the acne. You know, that will help a lot for you to look beautiful. Of course, drink plenty of water. Most importantly, protect yourself from the sun, because the sun does darken us more. So we always advise use a sunscreen moisturizer. Use a moisturizer which has a sunscreen, so that whenever you're going outdoors, the sun doesn't cause the aging, it doesn't destroy your skin, and doesn't cause the darkening. So just alone by applying a sunscreen, you're protecting yourself, and naturally you become lighter. You get your actual true tone.
Okay.
That would be my advice.
All right. So for those who are bleaching,
Yeah.
how about those who are not?
Even those
The
who are
ones who are
not,
going
use
to
a
start.
sunscreen.
They should use sunscreen.
Yes, focus on having a clear skin free from acne and the disease that would cause the scars. And then, most importantly, love yourself. That would be the best advice. Be confident with who you are, because when people lighten, it shows that they're trying to please other people.
There's
So
something.
it means, yes,
they're
it's something they're
attempting to
lacking.
please other people.
Exactly.
They're not
So they
sure
need,
of themselves.
yes. So they need to be confident about themselves and have self-esteem.
We need to appreciate our own beauty.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
First of all, our environment. We're living in a very hot environment. So
Yeah.
these are gifts given to us, gifted to us by genes, the
Yes.
genetics.
Yes.
They're meant to protect us from, not from harmful effects of the heat and the sun.
Yeah.
If we are reversing the effects, we're now adding more harm to ourselves.
Yeah.
You want to lighten yourself to look beautiful, yet in this sense, you're now increasing your chances of cancers,
Yeah.
which obviously will cause death in the long or short term.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people should be aware of the decisions they make, the consequences it has on their health in the future
Yeah.
and right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as we conclude, are there some instances, medical instances, where bleaching has been employed, where the doctor has prescribed the bleaching
Yes.
agent?
Yes. The cases where we recommend bleaching, we call it skin lightening. In those cases where the patient has had a skin disease which has destroyed the skin, most times for African skin, when we have diseases of the skin, like which cause inflammation, the way the skin reacts is by releasing the more melanin pigment. So the disease clears, but it leaves you with dark scars. So those ones, that's when we employ those treatments only on the affected areas under prescription, and we use specific treatments, not the ones that are harmful. So that's when we're able to treat. And we recommend, definitely, we treat you when you get back to normal, to your normal color, you stop using them because you won't darken again. It was because of the disease.
So it's because of a disease process.
You had
something.
eczema, you had lichen planus, you had psoriasis. You know, it left the damage. And what we are doing is to help you recover from it, because it's a scar, basically. Like you've had acne, it has left really bad scars. Once you get to normal, definitely, that's when those are conditions where we can use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have questions regarding bleaching or changing your skin color, you can send them to us on our social media platforms. I'm always happy to hear from you and give you advice regarding this rather dangerous practice of changing your skin color.
Yeah.
More about bleaching coming up after the break. Always want to hear from you. Don't go away.
You are watching the Doctalk Show.